I am Alan Nelson IV. I have been married to my wife Stephanie for 15 years, and we have 5 kids, and I'm the pastor of Perryville Second Baptist Church here in Central Arkansas. My call to pastoral ministry came several years down the road. I wanted to be a football coach and enjoyed sports and those sorts of things, so I went to Arkansas Tech University and was going to get my teaching license through there. And after a couple of years, I really just sitting under the preaching of Gene Tanner down the road in a little church, I just sensed the call to ministry. And my time at Grace Bible Theological Seminary was beneficial in many ways. One of the things about Grace, and it's being a work, if you will, from the ground up right now, and meeting several faithful brothers. And I didn't realize this, but all these years of me being in ministry and serving and those things, now when I started, I didn't start seminary over, but starting seminary again, I'm now on the sort of the other side and got to be around a lot of younger brothers, and you see that God is doing a work. The Lord is doing a work, I know, all over the U.S., all over the world, of course. I know the Lord is doing a work, but it's amazing firsthand to see that young men being called and equipped for ministry. And I got to be sort of a mentor in that too, kind of a dual role of a student, but also a friend and a mentor to some of these younger brothers. And that was really encouraging to me. And so when I went to Grace, I had a lot of background of knowing what a seminary class ought to be and knowing what should be expected in a class. And I was blown away. I mean, I had high expectations, but I was blown away that those expectations were met and exceeded, that GBTS is serious about their training men for ministry. I've pastored Perryville Second Baptist Church since 2016, so about 6 years now. The interesting thing for us is my wife and I both graduated here from Perryville High School. Perryville is not a very big town. We've got about 1,500 people. And so I spent the early years of my ministry thinking, where in the world might God call us? And we really felt that we were willing to go anywhere. And we were contacted by a church member here if we were interested in coming back to Perryville. I didn't grow up in this church, but I grew up in this community. And so I thought it was strange. We were excited maybe about being around friends and family and everybody at home, but at the same time we felt it a little bit strange. What would it be like to minister in our hometown? The rural church is overlooked often, I think, in our society, evangelical society. I understand why that is, that the rural church doesn't have the resources, maybe the education and those sorts of things that the bigger churches do. But I think if we overlook the rural church, we do so at the peril of the church at large. I think about in times past of God using little out-of-the-way places for the furtherance of His kingdom. For example, Charles Haddon Spurgeon was converted because of a snowstorm in a little primitive Methodist church, and the guy that was preaching wasn't even the pastor that day. And so I just think about how God has used a rural church. And so I have a heart for these people. I grew up with these people, and I want to see all 10,455 souls in our county saved for the glory of Christ. I want to see the banner of Christ lifted high in Perryville, Arkansas. And one of the reasons I want to see that as well is because I think that time and again in the Bible, think about little towns like Bethlehem, time and again in the Bible, God uses little places to bring glory to His name. And I've told the Lord several times over the years, Lord, Perryville is a nobody town. It's an out-of-the-way town. Why not use Perryville, Arkansas to bring glory to Your name? And so that's my prayer, that's my passion, and that's my commitment here in this church.